Our Big Ten Network coverage of the Final Four 2014 continuing from Dallas. Dave Revsine, Jim Jackson, Stephen Bardo, joined by a very familiar face for college basketball fans this time of year, Bill Raftery of CBS and Turner, and now Westwood One Radio as well this weekend, right? Calling the national championship game. Big Ten Network.
I always wanted
Wherever
to play
there's
the
a
Big Ten. I'm so old, I actually did the net games when Jimmy played, believe it or not. He was very close with a buck, though.
You didn't follow him to all of his other 11 stops?
No. Just the Nets.
And then, of course, we were colleagues for a while.
Oh, yeah.
And then he said, I can't believe the wait here. He's looking for an NBA contract.
10-day.
So, Raf, you're calling the games this weekend on the radio. Take us through this matchup, Wisconsin against Kentucky. How do you, not necessarily handicap it, but what do you think the keys are?
Well, the crazy thing about Wisconsin, and you guys know it better than I do, is they make you play differently or they make you think. They're running the ball a little bit more and open. I guess you had some influence there, right?
Yeah.
Don't listen to him. Push it up the floor. They value each possession, but they will shoot early. They've got guys who can take you off the dribble now, which they didn't have in the past. Mm-hmm. Nigel gives them a different option, I think, even though he hasn't played great in the tournament. That's at least my take. He hasn't been needed, basically. And you look at this Kentucky team, they're going to have to think, is this a good shot? Because if they rebound the way Wisconsin's capable of, they don't turn it over, they don't foul. All of a sudden, every trip is this a good shot? Am I going to be able to get my numbers? All the things young people think about. So I think it's a monster mental game, at least from Kentucky's end.
Well, from a mental perspective, neither team has experience in the Final Four, but Wisconsin has more experience as far as juniors and seniors and players. This young Kentucky team, how much would that play an effect in this game as well?
Well, I think that's the youth aspect, too, where we haven't played anybody like this. We all talk about the matchup of Kaminsky with Randall, which is a counterpoint, too. Who's going to play Randall? I mean, is Decker going to play him? And I don't know if he's big and strong enough, but, Kaminsky is such a great screener, and it's not necessarily the ball screen. It's the screen and pop, the mid-post where he can dribble it. I don't know who can play this kid. I mean, he's on a roll now that's very impressive. They're a mature team, and they play old. And you're playing Kentucky, who has a tendency to play young, at least at different times, although they're playing great right now.
Have you seen a team in recent memory with the size and the length and athleticism of the front line of Kentucky Wildcats?
Not in my Seton Hall days, I'm sure. We used to have the janitor stretch out there, just wave your arms a little bit. The talent level is incredible. Yeah. There's no question about it. And like Lee coming in, like you're going, oh my God, he'd be a great player at any other program. He's not even getting any minutes. Yep. And Cauley Stein, we had them early against Providence. Willie Cauley-Stein had the game of the year up in the Barclays Center, and I'm going, how can this kid not be playing 30, 32 minutes? So to answer you, I don't know how you get a shot around the rim. The big thing I think with Randall is you hope he settles for a jump shot, because I don't think anybody with, they don't have the size and bulk to compete against this kid, and they're great at shooting it and chasing it. Yep. And that's where I think Wisconsin has an edge, because they stick people. You don't play for Bo if you don't check. I mean, it's so fundamental. It's my era, although we didn't do it as well as they did. But you better do the right things, or you're not going to be on the floor for them.
Coach, for me, I go back to this. I grew up a big Big East fan. I still have VHS tapes of St. John's, Syracuse, Big East championship game. You covered all of that. And now we move fast forward to 2014. How have you seen the game change?
The one and done is one thing that jumps out. I think the coaches are giving more of a license. I don't know if you guys would agree with that. I think there's more freedom. Now, I say that, we're talking about Bo. There's not that kind of freedom for his team. But I think the coaches are taking advantage of the talents a lot more. We always say athleticism, and then guys walk the ball. Or they don't press and they can really have great coverage. Or, they play a passive zone and they can really get after you man to man. I think coaches are now saying, look, this kid can do it, let's take advantage of it. And that's probably the one area I think that I've seen at least.
When you look at Bo Ryan and his sustained success, how impressive is that to you? Because we're talking about a guy that's never finished below fourth in the Big Ten, and he's come up, from the D3 ranks. How impressive has his career been to you?
Well, the crazy thing is, he was at Wilkes College as an undergraduate. He had gray hair then too. You know? I was coaching Fairleigh Dickinson Madison, and we went up to play Wilkes College, and then years later at Wisconsin, Ron Rainey, his college coach, is at a practice, and I'm going, "What are you doing here?" He left there and went to Delaware. Ron, he said, "I was Bo's coach at Wilkes." I'm going, "You kidding me?" Well, I had coached against Ron. We looked it up. Bo had 1 assist, 8 turnovers. I'm exaggerating.
That's why he's so hard on point guard.
I'm exaggerating, really. But the sort of the comical aspect, we went in, and Wilkes was a great wrestling school.
Okay.
So we go in with our kids, and the wrestling mats are out. It's packed. So we watch most of the wrestling match. We go in to change. We come back out. The mats are gone. So are the fans. It's like, nobody was there. I don't think Bo's family, his father didn't even come watch him play, But one other side note on his dad. Years ago, we used to go down to Jersey Shore south because I didn't want to go north where all the Seton Hall fans would be. Get away from him. You did this, you stiff, that kind of stuff. So in the morning, I get up, went for coffee with papers, and our youngest is a boy, so he liked to shoot. So we go to the playground. I'm having coffee, reading the papers, and this man comes out, and he's got the socks pulled up like he played for the Minneapolis Lakers, all the way up. It ends up it's Bo's dad, and he's giving my son a clinic.
Oh, wow.
It was like, that's the first time I ever knew anything about Bo or his family. Wow. And the guy was a special guy, and he coached, actually, my backcourt mate was from Chester, and Bo's dad coached him in the AAU growing up. So the basketball's sort of been in his genes from day one.
Right. What does it mean to people who are in that college basketball fraternity, in the coaching fraternity, to see Bo Ryan have this moment?
I think it gives them hope. If you're a young guy at a Division III or an NAIA school and you love what you're doing, see, that's the thing. I don't think Bo ever thought he'd be at Wisconsin as the head coach. Maybe someday, wouldn't that be great? But he coached in the present. And in the present, he was very successful, and it was recognized. And I think we try to say to our kids too, just do something you love, and good things will happen to you, and you'll have some decisions to make. And I think that's what Bo has taught people. And knowing him, and just being so proud that he stuck to his guns, his philosophy. Right. And getting kids to buy in and starting to turn out NBA players. All of a sudden the kids they learn how to play reminiscent of Dean Smith, I think, where he used to say the only guy that could hold Michael Jordan under 20 was Dean Smith. And that's Bo now. You may get 15, 12, you learn how to be a point guard, you learn how to be whatever your position is. So I think you're ready now for the rigors of the NBA.
There's so much talk of the world of college athletics, the one and done, which you mentioned earlier, all of the ancillary stuff which goes on around the game. You spent so much time around it. What would you change? What would be the things that you would do differently in college basketball?
I love the kids to get a degree. Some schools do it. If you leave after your first year, we're going to pay for it when you come back. Now, obviously, if you're successful, that's different. But I feel bad for the kids who don't make it. I mean, that's the one area of concern. And some of these kids, they come in with false impressions of how good they are, and I think those are the kids that leave early, or their groups force them to leave early. In terms of changes, I'd love the NBA to say, you fail, and the college says, we'll take you back to play.
Okay.
If you don't make it in 3 years, we'll give you one when you come back. Now that's terrible. It'll never happen, but that's a pipe dream. We haven't done a study on the kids who don't make it. The God Sham gods, Cook from New York, Barkley.
Lenny Cook, yeah.
Right? Those are the kids that fall through the cracks, that have been subjected to a nice lifestyle. Right. They see the other side that none of us, I can't speak for you guys, but we humble home. We were comfortable. We loved our life. We played basketball all day. We didn't know there was hotels or planes or people picking up your bags and tipping people. Those are the things that these kids are exposed to. Now they go back to their environment, and it's not the same. And now, who are their idols, or who are their people that they sort of follow? It's very hard on young kids, I think.
Bill Raftery, man of many networks. I didn't even mention Fox Sports 1, did I?
Well,
No.
that's all right. We'll take it. Well, tell Jim Delaney I'm available, by the way. I'm ready to move in. Love watching you guys, though.
Thanks
We
a
get
lot,
you in
Raph.
Florida. It's really fun to watch the games and see these great young people do well. You've
Fabulous.
made them what they are, by the way,
That's
Dave.
right.
Thanks so much for your time and all you do for college basketball. Thanks,
you,
Bill.
Dave.